What's up, dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Rhomas Men's Team. Pretty simple. We are a group of guys helping each other make progress towards each other's goals. If you're new to the channel, awesome and welcome. If you want to help support the channel and join our pro team, head over to rhomasteam.com/pro, where you can contribute to us on a donation basis. We also give you access to exclusive content, mastermind groups, etc., etc. So anyway, hope you enjoy this episode, and we'll see you on the team. We got a clap for the audio. Done. Sorry. Trying now to record on a high-end camera and then connect it in the back end, so I got a clap. What's up, dudes? Mr. Ray, what's going on, brother?
Good morning, Wes. I am coming to you from the back roads of Appalachia. So my bandwidth might be limited accordingly.
Nice.
Just a heads up. But it's a beautiful part of the country. Well, Appalachia is kind of a mountainous area from, Pennsylvania down through Kentucky, down through Virginia. And, you got like the Catskills, you got the Ozarks, the Appalachians. So it's just a region in the middle of the 13 colonies. And it's nice. It's like mostly unspoiled and undeveloped. So it's nice viewing.
Hell yeah. And Troy Boy coming to us right after fighting Conor McGregor. Troy, how's it feel to get the W?
Let me turn you guys up a little bit. I can't really hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, I fucked myself up on my moped.
Oh.
Yeah, I hit a turn bad and fucked my hand up and my ankle. I don't know what's exactly wrong with it, but it hurts like a motherfucker right now.
It's hardly noticeable, dude. Hardly noticeable.
Bro, people were terrified of me, like limping over to them at their tables, like how to wear like black rubber gloves while serving people.
And an eye patch.
New Year's Day. It was bad.
So Troy, I've seen you had a few updates in the Discord. Would you mind giving everybody some updates for your 2023 progress?
Currently receiving emails for getting into Japan again. That's still on the table in 2023. So the only thing that I really have to do is make money right now and study Japanese. To be honest, I haven't sat down to do any goal setting. I've just been I've had to work every day for the past few weeks, so I just haven't had any fucking time to like sit with myself. I work evenings, so I don't get back in until like midnight, 1 a.m. sometimes. So I have just put aside the journaling and the actual thought process and just like, I know the very simple things I need to do right now. And that's all I've really focused on. Up until recently, I was exercising a decent amount. So I was keeping up with just like the basic physical, monetary, and getting the emails sent at the right times and documents. And I haven't really sat down to make any specific plans yet for 2023.
Awesome. And now, do you have a couple of days off from work?
Yep.
Currently, right?
Yep. This is going to be my time to get a lot of shit done in that regard.
Awesome.
I have a bunch of poster board that I'm going to start filling out stuff. I did prepare for that.
Right on.
Got fresh journals for 2023. So I have the necessary ingredients. I just need to sit down with it and put in a couple hours at least and get a bunch of stuff done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I think one of the great. Yep. Sorry, please
Wes.
go, Ray.
Is it
Troy?
Is
I
it,
also.
Sorry, I just want to make sure. Is it echoing or not? Because I don't have headphones.
Nope.
All right. Cool. Perfect.
Troy, I wanted to say that. Yeah, I'm also recommitting to the goals process over the coming days. So if you want to reach out to me, or if you want to do a session over Zoom or something, I'm totally down for it. Tell me in broad strokes, what are your goals for the new year? Like I hear that Japan is still on the horizon.
Yeah,
and that's awesome. But what are some of the focus areas of your life that you want to not necessarily improve, but improve, maintain, sharpen?
Let me think. Well, first is clean up my act. I work in a bar. I'm around a bunch of people that party. Just clean that stuff up. I'm getting a lot of work done, but also burning myself, like burning the candle at both ends, basically. So clean up my act. I've found that since working full time now, a lot of my issues with like any substance at all was linked to a lot of depression and unsatisfaction with my life. And now that I've actually gotten some momentum underneath, like some momentum, I'm actually working, making money for the first time, and I don't worry about buying stuff right now, and it feels fucking awesome. And also I'm living back in my parents' house in the basement, and it doesn't feel bad now because I have all this other stuff that I have some security now. So, but yeah, that said, I'm working in a situation where everyone's a drug addict, basically. Mm-hmm. So I need to get my act together in that regard. And I feel more confident in doing it now. So,
Troy, do you mind if I comment on all this stuff?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the things, man, I got to give you a ton of credit because unlike an infomercial where they tell you, oh, just buy this one product and do this one thing and your life is going to be amazing tomorrow night. Your story and journey is actually representative of all of us men going through a journey and story, because you've been on the team now, for like 3 years? Something. Yeah. So the amount of times where you've gotten your wins, you shared them with the team, you've gotten your losses, you shared them with the team. But the coolest thing, and that's awesome. And the coolest thing is that there are certain goals that you just haven't given up on. Like Japan. Japan was, I think, in sentence number 1 of conversation number 1 with Matt and I years ago. And you're not stopping that. So one thing there is that, like, when you go back to, and this is for all of us, when we rewrite our goals, if you've already taken the time to write your goals originally and to do your vision boards, et cetera, actually it's almost a copy and paste job into the next year usually, or it's a small minor edit. So it doesn't take, 6 hours to do it. It could take 60 minutes to do it. It could take a half hour to do it. So I got to give you so much credit, man, because like I said, your journey is representative of what a real man has to go through. It's not like, oh, I want to go to Japan and then I get there tomorrow. It could take years. And then you have to decide on whether or not you want to recommit. I think there was an author, I don't know who it was. I don't think it was Stephen King, but it may have been. And he said, you don't write a book, you rewrite a book. It's constantly rewriting, constantly editing. So I think that is more of an example of how goal planning and setting actually goes. You're constantly recommitting or not committing. But I think having that fork in the road, that decision criteria says, okay, I didn't hit my goal last year, but am I going to recommit to it this year? And I keep on hearing you showing up and saying, yeah, like this is just part of the thing. I'm part of the journey. I'm going to recommit to Japan. So I got to give you credit there, bro.
Thank you. I know I didn't accomplish everything that and a lot of, as you said, is going to be copy pasted, but then I still look at stuff that I've posted on Instagram, because I kind of used Instagram at some points I kind of faltered near the end just because I got busier with actually working. Instead of showing off my life all the time.
Yep.
When I was unemployed and not really, I was doing some stuff and I was improving in some regards, but I look at those things and I have improved in many ways. I've traveled all the way across the country, and I never had done that in my life. Just certain random things I had done, and I had lived and actually grew in a year, as opposed to, I feel like 2021, I really did falter. I do not think I I may have grown in some aspects, but I do look at it as very much a spiral downward in 2021. So to look at like, oh, I didn't accomplish every single goal, but there were a bunch of things I did. It's definitely more motivating. I don't know. My mindset is very, very much changed from last year, where I'm like, I don't feel like a failure constantly right now.
Yeah, and also what you're going through right now is the classic hero's journey story, where you had this call to action, you refused it for a little while, then something additionally happened, and then you took it like a man. You said, okay, I'm going to go out. You went out and you stumbled a little bit, and now you're going through that again, right? Like, okay, I stumbled a little bit, you're coming back, you're a little bit stronger, right? But you do have some bumps and bruises, quite literally.
This will suck actually for exercise. That's the one thing I'm pissed at. Like, I cannot walk properly, so my entire lower body is fucked right now for the next few weeks.
Yeah. So now you're going through the double dip of the hero's journey, right? You're dipping back down. You had moved back with mom and dad, but you're now different. And I hope that you recognize that. You are now different. You have different experience under your belt. So it's not the same thing as the past. You've kept on with the path of progress. So keep on going, bro. Right? Like, and this is not just for you. It's for me. It's for Ray. It's for the whole team. It's for everybody, all the other men watching you.
And Wes, I have a question.
Super pumped for you, buddy. Yeah, right.
Wes, I was wondering about this the last couple of days, like, and the great thing about this group is that it is a circle and not a hierarchy. What Troy is going through can apply to all of us. Like, what I was thinking about the last couple of days is I've been really motivated all of a sudden because I had a great meeting on, let's say, Thursday, and I'm really pumped up about this new opportunity for 2023. Why? I was down in the dumps for a month before that. And so how can guys like Troy and I maintain our optimism and, in other words, stay on the path of progress when things aren't going well, so that we can take off like a jet when things are going well?
Yeah, I think what we talked about a few weeks ago, which I thought was beautiful, we got from this Olympian who was being trained by a former Olympian coach. And she said that she went to her coach and she said, I really don't want to practice today. And it's been for a couple of weeks. And the coach, I thought this was brilliant. It was, as long as you expect it to be the rule of thirds. You're going to hate it for a third of the time. You're going to love it for a third of the time. And you're going to feel, indifferent on it for a third of the time. So I like that, combined with if it's during that third of the time where you're just either indifferent or you hate it, keep going. Just push your emotion. I shouldn't say this, and I say this in the most healthy way possible, right? You do not have to feel great about doing things. Now, at the same time, I don't think we should take it overboard and say, okay, you should always feel terrible about everything you do, and that's just the journey as a man. Do you know what I mean? I think it obviously, like life has to have a ratio. So if you're noticing that it's roughly those thirds, that you're really loving your journey, you're a third of the time, you're really feeling okay about your journey a third of the time, and you're really feeling, like you hate the journey a third of the time, I think then at that point, it's just tell your emotions, thank you for sharing, and keep fucking going, period. That's what I would say. Now, if it turns out to be a full year or two, whatever the number is, right? Whatever that critical mass number is, where it's hey, I just don't like this. I just can't stand this. I haven't liked it for 6 months, straight. Then it might be time to change. And only you will know that. But I would think the mental model to use there, because I think this is really important. It gets to that decision matrix where it's if I stop, am I quitting? Or if I stop, am I doing the right thing by pivoting to something else? And I think a good mental model to use there is to say, okay, if you were in a room with your board of advisors or your men's team or whatever it is, and you were to tell them what your plans are about to be, I'm going to stop this thing. Would they support it if you gave proper arguing? Or would they say, hey man, you're about to quit this thing again, and you have a past of quitting things perpetually. So is this another quitting situation, or is it really a legitimate pivot? And Troy, does that make sense? Hey dudes, sorry for the interruption here. Just wanted to let you know, if you want to join our pro team, go to romasteam.com/pro. You can help support the channel. You will also get access to exclusive content, masterminds, one-on-one sessions, etc. All right, back to the episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to also say, especially if it's something that that you're passionate about. It's the thing that you want to do. I kind of look at the 12-step, one of the 12 steps, like one day at a time. You have to, it's just, you sometimes will feel you'll feel the urge to drink, or you'll feel the urge to quit something, but it's like, you have to work through it every single fucking day. It fucking, to get out of the dumps, like, I have to just, like, you just have to keep reminding yourself over and over and over again, and just keep, it's like, you'll have to just catch yourself if it fucking sucks. You have to always be mindful of it. I've really tried doing that in times where, like, everyone in the service industry fucking complains about every single thing, and it's the easiest fucking job ever. And I have to deal with these 18, 19-year-old kids that think it's the hardest job. And you're making great money for not doing jack shit, basically, and then getting free booze if you want it, which saves you. That's actually one thing. I've saved hundreds of dollars from booze and the restaurant, which is a good and bad thing. But anyway, it's just like, I just have to keep reminding myself, this shit is not that hard. You can easily fall into what these people are saying and, like, follow along with the group. It's like, no, it's okay. This job is not that hard. I can just keep, I'm taking orders and touching buttons on a computer. It's not that hard. You just have to keep reminding yourself every single day. And, like, I don't love this job, but I don't hate it. So I'm like, I don't hate enough to quit. It's giving me what I need right now. But if I see why people quit all the time, because they just get sucked into the negativity, which is just omnipresent in that industry.
Right. And Ray, you were about to say something, brother.
Yeah, Troy, what you said just reminded me of, like, going to the gym, right? Where there's days I'm unmotivated to do it, and there's days that I'm motivated to do it. And so I think for me personally, what gets me to the gym on those days I don't want to go is the fact that I have a personal trainer. And so I have a kind of responsibility to another person, and there's an accountability factor. That for me, even though it costs more money, that was the kind of the fix, the secret sauce to get me to work out on a regular basis. And so perhaps for some of these goals that in the abstract we understand are very important, but in the application or in the praxis seem to be hard for us to do, maybe one approach is to have it, systematized, scheduled, or use the power of the team, or sign up for a class, or some other tool that makes it inevitable for you to skip it or avoid it or talk yourself out of it. And maybe, Wes, you have some kind of thoughts on some different tricks, or not even tricks, but like different ways in which we can schedule class, expertise, some of these building blocks on the path of progress in order to make it impossible for us to cop out.
Yeah, I think Troy's doing it exactly the correct way. He's a little injured right now, which makes it a little more tricky. But like you said earlier, Troy, and I'm not a psychologist, so my heart goes out to people who have formal depression, et cetera. But I think one of the things that Troy said was phenomenal, which is basically, hey, I'm working, I'm providing an honest living, I have future goals, I'm keeping my schedule as busy as possible. Yeah, I've got some things that I got to work on, but we're men. We have to work on things all the time. Like that's never going to stop. So Troy, I think you're doing exactly what you should. Then you have Patty P reaching out saying, hey, he's not drinking this month and hopefully beyond. Any dogs having any trouble needing anybody to talk to and quitting, send me a message and we're all in this together. Love it. So to Ray's point, like the more teams you can get around you, the more micro teams you get around you, the more influence you get around you. And then honestly, Troy, I would say that I would almost look at it as the universe is giving you a little hint of like you're working with these younger, men and women, and they might not be on the same path that you are. And maybe you both are struggling with a few of the same things like partying afterwards, et cetera. Maybe that's an opportunity for you to be somewhat of a leader, to take on a role model position, suggest some new activities or show them by example, as corny as that sounds. But dude, I mean, all of us on this call know that all of our friends have gone through the transition of, hey, maybe we shouldn't be partying as much as we are. Maybe we shouldn't be drinking as much as we are. But usually it takes one person to actually voice it. And then the rest of the team is like, yeah, geez, thanks. Or they'll pull you to the side. One person will pull you to the side. It's like, hey, yeah, that really resonated with me. So I give you credit, man. You're on the journey, bro.
Yeah, I'll try that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And dude, I don't know if you hear this enough because I don't know your personal life circumstances. I don't know the people around you, et cetera. But I recognize the progress big time, bro. Right. Like, and the effort, and it's fucking hard, period. It's so much easier to sit somewhere, to play video games, to smoke weed, to do whatever the hell other people do. But it's like, it's hard fucking escaping that life. I'm not saying that was your life prior, but I'm saying like, I know that is an easy alternative for all of us men. And you're choosing not to take that alternative, bro. So congratulations, man.
It's been it is grueling as shit because I have been that. And it's really fucking hard to, it's really fucking hard to let go what was the only thing that gave me true happiness for the first time when I was a teenager, because my life was so fucking chaotic and stressful at home. Like the first time I was able to just like relax was just smoking weed. And it was the first time I actually felt what I feel like was like genuine happiness without any anxiety. And yeah, it's very hard to let go of that. And when it's your coping mechanism for so long, it's like, it's very hard. Yeah, it's been very difficult. And luckily, one thing about Japan, it's incredibly illegal. And also I have to get a drug test before I get into the country. So I'll have to quit no matter what happens. So yeah. It'll be, I understand that this is I'm transitioning out of my life. Some people say go just cold turkey. Some people it's like diminish it. Like I genuinely just don't feel ready right now. I don't know what it's more like. I'm not trying to be like, I want to give a ceremonial goodbye or sentimental thing, but it's like, I just do not feel ready at the moment to quit everything at the moment. So, and that's just me being honest. And it's
100%.
Because I've just gotten into a better place where it's like, it's not destroying me. It is hurting me probably, definitely health wise, but that's not at the moment. I kind of have to not prioritize my health all the time. I have other things to focus on. I'm doing some stuff to take care of myself where I'm not driving myself crazy, and I'm trying to eat as good as I can. But obviously but that's just the one thing I'm like, I just don't feel ready. Like, honestly, yeah. Just being honest about it, yeah.
And Troy, you know my personal journey well enough. Like, that I can speak at like a Nobel Prize level on the issue of substance abuse and addiction and recovery, right? And and I see your journey, I see your progress, I see the amazing strides you're making, going from boyhood to manhood. You're taking, like, you're stepping out of the comfort of your parents' basement and into the discomfort of earning your living and like living within your means, like a man, and we see that and we recognize that, and it's a slow and grinding process, and we're proud of you for that. I just want to take issue with some of the language you just used, where you were talking about pot was the source of happiness during a chaotic adolescence. And I'm not here to disagree with you, but I want to just share the way my thinking on the subject has evolved for me. I went from thinking that drugs and alcohol, and it was really alcohol, was the
just as
moments when I was the life of the party were the moments where I felt happiness during my chaotic adolescence. And what I now realize
it's kind of breaking up right now.
The alcohol for me was
Wes, is it breaking up for you?
Happiness.
See, just as he's about to say something profound, the universe.
Oh, God damn it. I was about to be the one that got me sobriety. Come on, Ray. You're going to save me. Oh. No.
Yeah.
This is like your like grandpa on his deathbed and just like about to whisper to you the last words that you need to hear.
Yeah. Here's the meaning of life. Yeah. That's so funny. Well, hopefully if he can get service back, but Troy, please go ahead, buddy.
No, I was going to try to extrapolate from what he was going to say, but now I've been thinking about it. I don't think I could because he does have a lot of knowledge about this. Oh, he might be coming back.
No. Let's see. I'm going to mute him, and then when he comes back, we'll put him back on. But please go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, it's he's. I don't know. I was going to say that. Yeah, pot did start as the one thing that like it was like the big thing, but now that it is kind of just he mentioned it's just like it was booze, and it's like it kind of just falls into like the classic like booze and nicotine is the thing that you just kind of fall into because those are just the easiest to access, and then like just do them all the time, and they're addicting as fucking shit. So it's like it really has just kind of like pot was it was like gateway drug, and for me at least, for me to lead down to like get into other things. But yeah, it has just kind of fallen into just like booze and nicotine, and nicotine's even more accessible with all these fucking vapes. So it's that'll be the kicker, I think, to quit, because I can't smoke weed during work, and I'm completely fine with not doing that. It's just like during a shift, nicotine's constantly available, and it's like people are itching for that more than anything else.
Yeah. And this is not to put you on the spot, but I'm just curious, how is your scorecard game going? Is it existent, non-existent?
No, it's been non-existent for quite a while. When I broke my old phone, I couldn't pull it up on anything. I recently got a new phone, so I can do that now. I probably should get on that though. Yeah. I need to
brother to brother.
I would say consider, but it's just a couple things, but it sends me a notification every day. So I guess I have actually done that a couple of times. Like I was doing the physicals, like slept, worked out, and walked the dog. I would just like check 3 things off and then have to go to work. So yeah, technically, I guess you are right. Like I'd be failing if there was like if you're keeping score of how much I was doing the scorecard, but I have had a scorecard in the pocket in like the virtual pocket for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. And the reason I ask again is not to put you on the spot, but it's like whenever I'm going through something, I refer to my scorecard often, because if I'm like feeling shitty or if I'm feeling great, I can usually point back to the breadcrumbs of the scorecard, if that makes sense. But again, I think you're operating on all cylinders, man. There's always, like you're referencing, sort of your addiction to and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like there's a certain dependency on alcohol, nicotine, and perhaps weed. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's all around those things.
Yeah. And just so you know, we all have our own versions of that. Like if this game was easy, everybody be a multimillionaire and have 6-pack abs, as they say. The game is not easy. The hard part is just staying on track, keep on playing. And you're doing that, man. Like I don't have any critiques for you at all. Like it's just keep fucking going, just like you're doing, man. And I appreciate you coming on here and showing the dogs that you're still on that path. Because as you know, a lot of men drop off and then they come back on, drop off, come back on. And that's the normal progress. The shit is messy. It is not clean. It is not a straight line. It is not linear. It is zigzag as hell. That's just how the shit goes. So I give you a lot of credit, bud, for keep on coming on here and sharing your wins as well as your losses.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Let's try to get Ray back on, or maybe pull up another guy, because honestly, that's about my life right now. You guys we covered everything right now. Pull up another guy who deserves to talk. Yeah.
Well, hey, brother, it was great talking to you. Let's actually jump off now. Love you guys. Troy, if there's any way that I can help you, let me know. And then Gunther, you said you be up for a goal planning session. Gunther, when were you thinking? Maybe we do it this week or next week as a team. I'll invite everybody on there. We can do it as a group. I would say either, why don't we we'll shoot for next week. And then we'll put up in the Discord if anybody wants to join. But let's say we'll shoot for next Wednesday. Let's see. Yeah. Actually, hey Gunther, since you mentioned it, how does this Wednesday work for you? Okay, so you said I can make it at like 8 p.m. Eastern or something. Okay.
Gunther, disregard the women. You must come with the boys, make plans.
Yeah. So how about Ray? If you're down for it, Ray just got back on. And sorry, Ray, as Troy and I were saying, you were about to give Troy all the secrets.
I know, and
then it cut out.
It's so good. It's so universal. It still applies, even though we're on schedule and calendar now. I just wanted to say, Troy, that pot and alcohol didn't bring you happiness. They were the medicine and the coping mechanisms for you to escape a shitty situation, a chaotic situation, So some of us men are people pleasers, and we avoid conflict because during a chaotic childhood, we learned that like being the joker was a way to get mom and dad to stop fighting or to stop being angry with us, right? So by the same token, the pot and the alcohol and being the life of the party or being zoned out can be our way of medicating our insecurity or our inability to handle a chaotic adolescence. Can you hear me through that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now that you are taking the steps and you're creating your own initiation ritual to go from boyhood to manhood, by distinguishing yourself from your parents' journey, by moving out, by earning your own money, and by keeping Japan on your, as your North Star goal, you have the right to, because you're creating order in your life, you have the right to give up those habits and techniques that you used as coping mechanisms, as escapes from the chaos, because you are rising out of the chaos by through your own will and through your own actions. So I give you full permission to stop medicating in those ways, because you have, through the hero's journey, you have created a new environment where they are not necessary.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man.
Isn't that right?
Thank you.
You did it. You did it, Troy.
Well, you're right, man. Thank you for that.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that you have risen above and climbed out of the circumstances that required that kind of. You needed the pot to help you navigate a chaotic situation. You don't need it anymore. When you quit, how you quit is up to you. I don't require that you quit. It's just that hey man, I love you, and I see your progress. Like Wes said, like we all see the messy progress that we promise, and we see you actually doing the work and getting it done. Like Wes said, we seek, or in other words, Wes, the cliche ways of talking about it are, we seek progress, not perfection. And Steve Harvey says the road to success is always under construction. So it's always going to be bumpy to get there. But let's do this in 2023. Like let's get one step closer to our goals, or 365 steps closer to our goals.
Outstanding. Ray,
you're the dad I wish I had. Thank you so much, Ray.
One more thing. It's too bad it's not Halloween, because you could definitely go as a a hobo, like riding the rails, like living in a boxcar, playing the harmonica.
Fuck you.
Sheriff, looks like Sheriff roughed you up pretty bad. I'm just kidding, Troy. I love you, man, and I appreciate you coming on, and because sharing your challenges helps me to verbalize mine and helps me to put together a plan of attack of my own. So
Thank you, man.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, dudes. Love you guys. Troy, thank you, brother. We're going to do a goal planning session, Ray, if you're cool with it, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern for Gunther and whoever else wants to join. I'm in. Yeah, I'll be able to hop on next week as well.
And Troy, you book that day off, okay?
I'll try my best.
Do it. All right, dude.
I'm beholden to a Chinese how should I say, slave runner? I'm not sure. I don't know. Trafficker? I don't know what goes on. I don't know. Like, no one speaks English in this goddamn place. Anyway, that's for a different time. All right.
All right, dudes.
So I guess now we really know where he got those injuries. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.